Right off the bat, there'll be no parking lot for Saturday morning. Um, got the word yesterday afternoon that Saturday has been canceled. I think it's due to part shortage. I don't know, but nothing in these companies makes sense to me anymore either. So, um, okay, it seems we have some news going around that Bradley Walsh, who plays Graham, has been confirmed for Power of the Doctor. Now that one wouldn't surprise me, okay? Yeah, because Graham's character, the character of Graham, I mean, was a pretty damn good character, for the time he was in the TARDIS. So that's good news. Also, good news is Nicola Methin has put out an article for the Mirror stating that Mel Bush is confirmed for the 60th anniversary special. Okay, not the centenary, that's for the 60th, okay? So, Graham for Power of the Doctor, Mel Bush, allegedly for the 60th. Okay, now I don't want to disrespect Joshua because he's been a faithful viewer of this channel for a while, and so I don't want to sound like I'm dissing him any, so I just want to state this for fact. Apparently, it's now on the wiki page for the quote-unquote 60th anniversary special, whatever wiki has it down under, that they're going to air all the specials in November, all 3 specials. Folks, if somebody goes on wiki and gives them something interesting to post, they'll post it. Give them something they think is not interesting enough, they'll take it off. How do I know this? A friend of mine, as a kindness, went on to the wiki page for Sophie Aldred a few years ago, and he knows who he is. Good friend of mine. And he posted that Sophie Aldred had also appeared in the independent sci-fi production audio Skydark. It was gone within 24 hours. Now, when I inquired the wiki as to why this happened, I said, well, it's the truth. She did. And I even gave them the links in the message, as to what's going on. And they sent me back, it's not interesting enough. But it's the truth. It's not interesting enough. That's all they kept repeating. I'm like, you fucking dorks. Well, there went my monetization. But it's alright. I don't like to swear like that anymore on the air, but I just did. Because that's how the reaction caught me. There went my monetization. I dropped the F-bomb. It's over. Ninjas will come screaming out of the darkness any time now. They'll take off my head and put it on a pike. Don't tell them who you are, Pike. Oh, sorry. Wait, wrong reference. So yeah, there's been, and I'm sitting here going, I even messaged, I was like, guys, if the BBC even knew, or knows when these are going to air, going back to the 60th thing. Oh, thank you, Fraser. I was about to go into that too. That's what I was about to talk about. If the BBC had anything about the 60th anniversary special, the one they're going to air, do you think that someone would post it on the wiki page? But I don't want to sound like I'm insulting Joshua. I know he's just out there looking for the truth like all of us. But they're not going to have it on Wikipedia. Wikipedia probably posted a rumor. Somebody posted a rumor to it. And since it's juicy and it'll draw people in, they'll leave it up. But if it's a fact and it's not interesting enough, it'll disappear. But unlike IMDb, who'll let you post anything. But I know they've been trying to crack down a bit, but not really. Okay, what happened is we do know during the, let's get back to the Mel Bush thing, Bonnie Langford. As Fraser brought up, back during the filming for the 60th, there was a scene which was captured by those evil set reporters. You know, those guys who go out of the way to annoy certain fan club groups who can't show up, so those fan club group makes bad videos about them, making up stories because simply jealousy and whatever, and the fact that if they could, they'd be right there with them on the filming site. But that's a whole nother story. We've been through that 100 times. Okay. They were doing a scene where, you know, Donna and the doctor, you know, David Tennant and Catherine Tate, were leaving the TARDIS, and they start talking about Mel briefly. And it's loud and clear. You can hear that they're talking about Mel. The thing is, I wanted confirmation before I did anything about that, because they could have been doing that as a gaffe. They could have been messing with us. Because remember, they've done things on set to throw people off before. Anybody remember that, you know, series that they you know, the shooting title was Return to Tsar and things like that? You know, they'll do things like that to throw you off. Okay, before you go off on Mel Bush, Black Phoenix, I highly recommend you go listen to Big Finish Audio. Wait, is she referring to Mind of the Zodiac? No. What happened was, Philip, if you look around online, there is a scene being filmed with Catherine Tate and David Tennant, and you'll hear it plain as day. They're talking about Mel. But I wanted confirmation because they've done stuff like that before to throw people off. You know, little hints there and there, like, you know, fake scripts being left out, things like that. Okay, I just wanted to be sure. But yeah, so we pretty much had a suspicion she's going to be in the 60th because of that scene. And, you know, Nicola Methvin's gone into a bit more details about it. So that's, you know, giving me a little bit more confirmation that, yeah, that this is actually going to happen. But let's go back to why you shouldn't hate on Mel Bush. In Big Finish Audio, where they had Mel Bush return, she got a lot better writing and a lot more development, and she was fleshed out a lot more on Big Finish than she ever was on the main show. You see Mel doing things, taking charge, you know, coming up with her own stuff. You know, she's more than just Scream Mel, you know. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be, you know, since the 60th specials are being written by pretty RTD, then, you know, hopefully she's going to get the same treatment as she did in Big Finish. Alrighty? So don't write Mel Bush off yet. She was a lot more interesting in the Big Finish audios, you know, than she was on the television show. And that's because she's written a lot better on Big Finish. Like, they actually have her using these computer skills they kept saying she had. Ugh. If you don't believe me, go listen to, give me a minute. The Juggernauts, Unregenerate, Flip Flop was also a good one. So I'm hoping that's the direction, yeah, they're going to go with if she appears in the 60th. We do know a number of people are going to be appearing also in the centenary. And hopefully, you know, by this next weekend or so, we're going to know when it's going to air. It's still freaking me out that they, you know, but at the same time, you know, maybe there's some things getting shifted around. We don't know. Okay, so yeah, I like I said, I highly disbelieve that the BBC would shoot 3, you know, 1 hour plus specials and then hold them off till November, because that would mean after Power of the Doctor, since we don't think they're going to have anything for this Christmas, we wouldn't be getting anything new till November of next year. And that doesn't make, but then again, it's the BBC. Like the company I work for, they don't make any sense either. But even if they were going to do that, it wouldn't be on Wikipedia. Okay, I just wanted to let you all know that. No disrespect to the Joshua. I just thought, I better mention it because I highly doubt that's true. It would be a marketing disaster. Especially when you're trying to keep interest in the show because you're starting a whole new era. Also, if that were, that were true, why would they, film this year? It doesn't make any sense. Now, someone brought up the fact, well, maybe they knew Bernard Cribbins was ill. And I'm like, he died rather suddenly, You have to remember, he was in his 90s at this point as well. I'm just glad they did get, he did get to have some more time, with the doctor and all that before he passed on. Okay, hang on. Darn it. That's a very good possibility, Sean. Yeah, that I've also heard rumors that, okay, like I said, it's not beyond possibility, but one thing I did notice over the course of this year was Peter Capaldi was in Cardiff. He even took pictures with Rachel Talalay. Matt Smith suddenly had his old hairstyle back this year. So, and plus they were in that region for like a day or so, which doesn't, if it's going to be the scene I think it is, it wouldn't take more than a couple hours to shoot at most. Not even a few minutes, actually, but I'm just, given a broad, thing, a, wide estimate. Because when they shot the thing of Clara returning at the end of Twice Upon a Time, all they did was they took a green screen to her dressing room on Victoria, set it up, she got in the wardrobe, they came back in, and they shot her scene as Clara. That's why you don't really see her making any broad gestures or anything like that, because she's standing in front of about a green screen that's about the size of a doorway. And I think that's what they did with Capaldi and Matt Smith. That's why I said that's my opinion. We'll have to see. But it could be they're going with the degeneration plot line because, like I said, they've done that with the Meeps and all that in the comic book. And the Meeps are villains right out of the comic series. They did appear in Big Finish a couple times. Well, it was always resolved by the end of the comic book. But if someone's also trying to put out this story that it's going to be like, I've heard it's going to be like, Bobby in the shower or something like that. And I'm like, no. If they make that whole 60th a dream sequence, I'm going to be rather disappointed. One thing I can't stand are dream sequences and episodes that reset themselves at the end so that you don't have to deal with the consequences later. Those kind of turn me off. Yeah, it's going to be like something went wrong. Which is interesting because if she's the one that regeneration came from, why is it the doctor always has all these problems with regeneration? But that's just me. Sorry about that. I wanted to read that last one. Yeah, it could be that. Or it could just be that, Sean. Yeah, I agree with you. It could be they'll do a fade to black on us. I just looked at the time, and I have got to get inside. So, everybody take care of yourselves out there. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy your Friday. I know I'm going to, now that I know Saturday's canceled. So, take care, everyone. And we'll see y'all in the future.